Hey guys, and welcome to what is the Boxing Day special here. This is Boxing Day 2019, and what we have to share with you today is how you would be able to turn just $4,000 into $1,093,120 by following a very simple investment strategy with cryptocurrencies over the next 2 years. Now, I'm sure that may all sound a bit too crazy for some people, but if you do go back, check some of my previous videos, you'll see I'm fairly okay when it comes to making price predictions, particularly with Bitcoin. And we're going to be going over some of these figures here. So all of my predictions are based on previous price movement. They're not just crazy pie in the sky figures that I just pluck from thin air. They are always based on real life facts and figures. So anyway, if you do like to make a bit of money yourself from investing in cryptocurrencies, don't forget to subscribe if you haven't done so already. In a few days time, we're going to be having a little New Year's Day special as well. And anybody that does a comment on our previous video, so where I was saying the 5 best currencies to invest in 2020, that was our previous video. Anyone that comments on there, we'll be doing a random YouTube comment picker to pick out 5 people in the next video and sending them one of our calendars. This is our cryptocurrency calendar for 2020. We're sending one of those, plus also one of these posters here. This is the periodic table of cryptocurrency for this year, 2019, plus also sending them the very new one, the 2020 periodic table of cryptocurrency as well. So loads of free stuff there to give away in the next video, so make sure you don't miss that. But now it's time to get deep into some charts. Let's take a look. What we're looking at here is the Bitcoin chart, Bitcoin versus the US dollar way back when in 2012. This is on an exchange called Bitstamp, or at least the price is from Bitstamp. This website, if you haven't seen it before, is one called tradingview.com. You can go there, check out this for yourself. So I've put in this line here. This shows the date of the first Bitcoin halving and the price of Bitcoin down there, which was just about $12 for a Bitcoin. I know it seems crazy cheap now, but $12 for Bitcoin back in 2012. That was the very first halving, and then about 1 year on, you saw a massive spike upwards. This is the all-time high of 1,160. And please do note, you hear a lot of talk about a Bitcoin halving, but just realize there's the Bitcoin halving right there, and it took 1 year to actually see the price go up to an all-time high. And you'll see with every single coin, this is very similar. So from that all-time high, we went all the way down to just $150. So a big old drop came. And then we had the next Bitcoin halving in July 2016. So every 4 years, 2012, 2016, and 2020. So the next one's coming up in May, June time next year. And then it was actually over 1 year, so the 1 year point would have been about here in July, and at that point it had gone from $600 all the way up to $2,700, but then continued up higher and higher all the way to just under 20,000 there in December. And more recently you'd have seen that fall all the way down there to 3,200. Now I did just say that I'd done some very good price predictions before. That was one of them, that we were going to fall out of this descending triangle here and go down to 3,002. I mentioned that in a previous video. And then we come all the way up here to 14,000, all the way back down here again to about 7.5 where we are now. And now time for Litecoin. So Litecoin, we missed the date here for the first ever Bitcoin halving. So the price data that we have for Litecoin begins here at $3 on whatever date that is. That's May 2013. And then this was the 1 year on point from the Bitcoin halving. And that's where we saw a high for Litecoin as well, all the way up to just short of $55. And then it came all the way down under $1. So Litecoin right now, I believe, is up around sort of $40. And there it was under $1 for a Litecoin. And at the point, which is the second Bitcoin halving point, it was $4. So remember, next year is the Bitcoin halving, and after the halving, just like here in Litecoin, it didn't really do an awful lot at all. But before the halving, so from here it went from $1 all the way up to $4, and you're going to be wanting to check next year to see some of the coins which are rising in value in the build up to the Bitcoin halving. One of the tools that we use to do that, now if you come over to the masters area over here on Moocharoo Crypto Ninja, you can see we've got a few different areas, but the blockbuster crypto one is the one I'd recommend. You can go down here, this is for 2019. You can see all the coins which are on our periodic table of cryptocurrencies. So that's 118 of the top coins on CoinMarketCap, and here you can see the highest losses as well as gains and their CoinMarketCap rankings. Now if you see a little red dot like this means that it's no longer in the top 118 coins, so it's dropped down below, which is rather interesting for this mixing because it's gone from $89 to $187. It's up 111%, but it's actually fallen down in market cap. Now if you compare that to 2018, where you can see a massive loss, average loss there, minus 87% in 2018, everything got killed, and there was only a couple of coins that actually did not make a loss. So if that coin was up 118 then, it would have had no trouble, it would have been one of the best performers, but this year it's actually dropped out, so a lot more competitive this year. And by the way, if you would like to upgrade there, all you need to do is come on over, hit the Masters tab, and you'll come here to the upgrade page, and you just click this here. There's a few different ways you can upgrade. However, right now we offer lifetime for £127, and here's crossed out 247. So next year when we upgrade to Moocharoo Ninja to 2.0, that 247 will no longer be lifetime. It will be a annual membership. So just like these here are monthly and quarterly, this 247 will be a annual membership. Plus, you can pay for that either with PayPal or with a coin payment. So you can pay with Bitcoin, Litecoin, anything like that. And we send you out a bunch of stuff, including the periodic table of cryptocurrencies. And you also get some moolah as well, some cryptocurrency in there as well. So you can check all that out in your own time. We don't have time to really look at that right now because we're too busy talking about Litecoin. So where were we? $4, Bitcoin halving date, all-time high. From the last one, this is 2017 in December, Bitcoin's all-time high, and Litecoin topped out at $370. So do remember, it was $1 not so long ago, then it went up to $4 just around the time of the Bitcoin halving, and 1 year on, $370, then all the way down to a low of $23, which it's not that far off from right now. So if you do feel that you missed out, you really have not. And there is great potential for some substantial gains from that in the future. Now, let's take a look at XRP. So XRP is another one there. I couldn't get all of the data from this chart here on TradingView, but I did manage to get some of the data on CoinMarketCap, and I filled that in on the chart here that you can see. So we've got some price data here from the first ever Bitcoin halving. And what we're going to see here is the second Bitcoin halving. So this is all the way down here at under 1 cent. So it's 0.6 of 1 cent back then at the halving point, and then it went all the way up to $3.5. So $3.50. Now do notice that the Bitcoin all-time high was here, and for Litecoin and Bitcoin both had their high at the same time, but most of the other altcoins did take a couple of weeks to actually reach their all-time highs. And then also, if you are an XRP hodler yourself, do bear in mind that the low right now is around about now. So this is on Poloniex exchange, and it's gone down to 17 cents on Poloniex. So very, very interesting. Yeah, you couldn't be at a better time right now to be buying some XRP if indeed that is the low. And before we get into why I believe that that is likely to be the low, let's take a quick look over at Ethereum. And Ethereum, just like XRP, we don't have all the price data here on this chart, but we do have the date of the second Bitcoin halving where Ethereum was $10, and then we had the Bitcoin halving at this point here, and then just like XRP, a couple of weeks later we actually had the all-time high, which was 1,469 or thereabouts, and then all the way down to $75. And just like Litecoin, we are not too far away from that right now. So again, you haven't really missed the boat on this one. Yes, it did peak up a little bit earlier in the year and now it's fallen back down. But still a very good time to get into crypto. And just before I get into the strategy behind how to turn the $4,000 into like $1,093,120, which you're going to see in a moment, I'd just like to say for those of you that are still watching this video, congratulations, because you are very likely that will be you. I should imagine, having seen the analytics for most of my videos, the majority of people will be long gone by now. And the people that I'm talking to right now, that is you, you are very likely to actually take action on this and make this a reality for yourself. So anyway, let's go check it out, shall we? What we have here is the Bitcoin halving. So this was the price of Bitcoin during the first halving. So Bitcoin 1 is the first halving. Litecoin 1 is the price at the Bitcoin halving, not Litecoin halving. And obviously not XRP halving, because XRP doesn't do halvings. They just made it all out of thin air from day one. And so it goes on. Anyway, important things to note on this are the halving and the gain from the halving, and then how much of a loss. So what we have here is Bitcoin. The gain was massive on the first halving, and then it dropped to just 1/3 of what the previous gain was. Whereas the other ones, the altcoins, I believe maybe because they weren't around for all of that first halving, and the second halving, they were up substantially more than the first, particularly XRP up, 58,000%. Plus, also take note of the low points. So for Bitcoin, in both cases, it was down around about 85%, whereas all of the other altcoins, they were down about 95%. So when it comes around to the next time, the next all-time high, and you sell off, do not get back into crypto until the alts are at least 80% down, and Bitcoin's at least 80% down, and the altcoins are at least 90% down. That is your cue to start accumulating again. Otherwise, you're just going to be holding a loss for a long, long time. So all good to know. Let's hope we don't make that mistake again next time around. And anyway, let's get into Bitcoin. So Bitcoin, I was looking at the fact that the gain was down to just 1/3 of the previous gain, and I was thinking, if that happens again, that means it's only going to be likely to rise 1,000% during the next bull run. And that actually coincides with some video predictions I've done previously that show the growth curve of Bitcoin over time. And this wasn't my analysis, this is a bunch of other people's, and they all seem to be in and around the sort of 80 to 100,000 being the point that Bitcoin should hit during the next all-time high. And if you take the price of Bitcoin right now being about 7,500 or 8,000, and you like 1,000% gain that, you're going to come up with about $80,000. So you can see that is 1,000% is very, very likely. So it should, maybe the next Bitcoin will always be 1/3 of the previous gain. An interesting observation, obviously not entirely accurate because there are only really 2 data points here to go on, so that's not really a trend, but interesting if that is going to be the case. So Bitcoin down here, if you was investing that $4,000, you're going to get 1,000% increase on that. So you're going to turn your 4,000 into a whopping $40,000. Interesting, but not quite really what we want. That isn't really life-changing money, particularly if you have to pay out capital gains tax on that, depending on the country where you are. That may be an issue. However, with the second one, with the altcoins, what we've done is we took an average for all of those, and we come up with 27,000% increase. Now, I'm not saying that all of these coins here, Litecoin, XRP, etc., are likely to do another 27,000% gain. I find that very unlikely. However, some of the coins which are experiencing their first ever Bitcoin halving, just like these were back then, their first full one, then those coins might well do extremely well. And if you have a look up here, we can see things like Tron, Neo, Ethereum Classic, NEM maybe, Basic Attention Token, that's a really great coin. Link as well, obviously Chainlink, that's been really, really huge, and there's no reason why that wouldn't do 27,000%, maybe more. So there is a lot of potential. And if we're going to have a look at the rest of this, we can see that at 27,000% gain from, not just from now, but we're talking from 6-8 months, like May, June time next year, when the actual Bitcoin halving is. So if you invested then, you can hold your money until then if you like. But if you invested now, you might get even more. At the end of the day, who knows? This is crypto, it's volatile, anything could happen. However, you have to look at the probability and what has happened before, and then just make some simple judgments yourself on what you want to do with your cash. For me, looking at this and seeing that I could invest $4,000 and make 40 grand with Bitcoin, or take that same $4,000, invest it into some other altcoins, maybe things like Chainlink, maybe the 5 coins I mentioned in the previous video, the one that if you comment on, you'll be going into the competition to win this calendar here, and also the poster and the new poster for 2020. If you were to use those coins, there's a good possibility you're going to get tens of thousands of percent gain. However, you know, if you were to go with something like Litecoin, XRP, I don't know if that's going to pump quite as much as it has done in the past, purely because there's so much competition in that space now, whereas before they kind of had it all their own way. And that goes with Ethereum as well. So Ethereum was really the only distributed applications platform that there was, the blockchain-based applications platform anyway. And now there are a ton of them, both Neo, Tron, A-Chain, tons. There's just pretty much so many copycat Ethereum projects out there right now which are offering this distributed applications. I don't know how many companies, how many businesses actually want a distributed application running on a blockchain, but you know, there you are. There's so much competition in that space that I don't necessarily think you're going to see Ethereum really getting those type of gains again. And if you think that you have what it takes to become one of these next millionaires during the next Bitcoin halving, please do comment down below which coins you believe, the coins that you think give you the best chance of actually achieving that, whether it's Chainlink, Binance Coin, Ethereum, whatever it may be. Let me know in the comments down below. And I think what I'll do on New Year's is actually just take maybe 3 of the comments from the last video and maybe 2 of the comments from this video and do that. So yeah, or maybe 3 from each, and I'll actually send out 6 calendars. I don't know, I've got no idea. But if you do want to be in with a chance of winning, I shall say it again, yeah, the calendar, the posters, just comment down below and we'll do a draw on the New Year's Eve and see who wins. That is it for today. I hope you've enjoyed. I hope you've been enlightened and inspired by the potential of all this blockchain crypto stuff and what it can do over the next few years for you and your pocket. And that's it for now. I shall see you again in the next video.